Hey guys, welcome back to the Jazzmen Pod. I'm Javin.
I'm Jake.
I'm Spencer.
In the last episode, I believe we talked about uh, the Jazz up to the All-Star break, who we were happy with, kind of just yapped for a while. It was kind of a longer episode, so this one we'll try to keep a little bit more concise and try to, talk about current things that are happening. We'll have a little quick run through of the game yesterday. Things that we noticed, things that we're hoping for, where we want to go post All-Star break as a team. Maybe pick some second half MVPs, like who we think will either show the most growth or maybe even be the best player within their own context. So yeah, Spence, you want to start off some stuff you noticed about yesterday?
Sure. So last night was the Jazz at Grizzlies game, which we lost. First of all, great for the tank.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Grizzlies are
Huge.
a team we're kind of competing with, so great to give them a win and take a loss. A couple things that stood out to me. Svi getting a DMP CD stood out to me, especially considering Blake Hinson got some minutes. Conchar played a lot, actually, a lot more than I was expecting. Mm-hmm. He even played over Bryce in the fourth quarter, crunch time, which surprised me. Well, let's talk about Blake Hinson, because we just signed him like 2 weeks ago, or right? Did he play like one game before the All-Star break?
Mm-hmm. I think he played in the Portland game right before the break, and then that was like his first game, which he also played great in that game too.
Mm-hmm.
So is this his second game for us then?
Yeah, I think this is his second game.
And I thought he obviously played really well. I mean, 13 points in 16 minutes.
Yeah.
Really efficient.
I believe he was 3 for 3 from
the 3-point shot looks good. It looks good.
I mean, he shot some pretty far out. I think one of them was from the logo. I don't know. He looks way better than a two-way player at this point right now. I mean,
I agree.
We have a lot of our guys are out, and we're trying to tank, but this
Not officially, but officially.
But like, he's playing great. I'm honestly, I've been super surprised by how he's been playing, considering he's a two-way player. Yeah, he had some great moments.
We kind of touched on like playoff teams that win NBA Finals. They need people like that that are on very small contracts that can contribute a lot. I mean, obviously the Jazz, like if we were playing JJJ, Lowry, Key, all those guys, I don't know if he would have gotten minutes, but considering he's a two-way guy, like hopefully he develops. If he can develop into something, he'd be a great guy to have on the roster. He's one of those guys we were talking last episode that like maybe he can win you a quarter of a playoff game or a half. Like just go off for 20 points in a game and win you a game. And that could turn a series.
Yeah, I agree. Something that I think I may have talked about it last episode as well, but something I really appreciate about Blake Hinson, as obviously his 3-point shooting is really good, but he also he has like a great basketball body. Like he's got great wingspan. He's really tall. He's big. He's quick, and the sample size is only 2 games. I definitely need to do some more research into the Rip City, his time with the Rip City remix, and see what he looked like on the defensive side of the ball. But he looks to be the type of guy that has like a defensive body, and that is important as far as defense goes, obviously.
Blake Body Hinson. It's official.
Yeah.
That's his nickname.
That's what they call him. Body Hinson.
What do you think about Ace last night? I think he had 20 points, but I don't know what his career high is off the top of my head. I know it's not 30. It's somewhere between that 20-30 range.
I believe it's 23.
He didn't shoot great, but I still thought he played really well. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think he played great. I mean, all the classic Ace Bailey I guess ropes were all in there. Turnaround jumper, pull up mid range, great passing. Like he played great. He did shoot a lot and didn't make a lot of his shots, but he was playing pretty good. Yeah,
He had an awesome
no notes.
alley-oop in the fourth quarter
Yeah, he had a
towards the end of
sick
the game.
alley-oop. It was the classic Ace Bailey game.
I loved what I was seeing from him yesterday because, you as an NBA player, you're not going to get your shot to fall every night all the time. And a sign of a great shooter and a great player in general is their ability to be productive in other ways. And we've already seen that from Ace. He's active on defense. He's got great hands. Like, he's going for rebounds. I think that him shooting, pretty badly from three, shouldn't limit him in the game. And he showed last night that it's not going to. Offense doesn't always work out, but if you can do everything else, then the offense either will come or you'll end up helping your team anyway. And it was great to see that from him. Also, his career high is 25, so he was a 3 and a 2 shy from tying his career high, and that's on like a game where he's not shooting well. So that's really encouraging.
I also thought Flip had a great game. As I was talking about how it's been kind of hard to watch him at some points because of how he's been, I guess, integrated into this team. But I really thought he played great. He was dominating. Who was the center for? Was it?
Just got waived.
Levering?
Just got waived today.
Yeah, just got waived. Levering. He really kind of had his way with him in the first half, and for a majority of the game. And I thought he looked great. He had some good moments for sure.
I don't want to get too into the game because, we've got other topics, but I think in general, offense was not our problem last night. Obviously, shot 50% from the field until the third quarter. The offense in the third and the fourth looked bad because of how well we were shooting in the beginning. But I think our big problems last night were, just kind of sloppy defense and turnovers. 24. That is awful, especially for a team this year that has been not nearly as bad with turnovers as we were the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think one thing that, kind of to go back from like the first half of the season, majority of the time, offense is not the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's always the defensive lapses. It's
Yeah.
always the turnovers. It's transitions. But there's a weird thing where we're really good at defending at the rim. Like, we are one of the lowest scoring defenses at the rim at this point, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
I think we're definitely up there.
We've been pretty good at that, but we let way too many threes come through, like wide open threes. But I think, especially like when Triple J was playing, like the last few games, he was playing like he kind of helped out with perimeter defense a lot more, and it looked like we were actually starting to figure out the defense. But yeah, at this point, I really do not think that offense is the issue here. It's the generationally bad defense that we've had.
Yeah. And JJJ and Kessler back next year will help that a lot. I wanted to just touch on Taylor Hendricks, near double-double.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We all hope he has a great career. And plays well for Memphis. So it was kind of cool to see him have a pretty solid game. Any other things to touch on from that game?
Cody?
Cody shot pretty bad, and that's kind of that's the story, with most of these games that he's been playing. He just does not shoot very well, and I think
at least from three.
Yeah, he just needs to shoot. You just need to figure out his shot because the defense is there, and I can see that he's really growing on defense. Basically, like almost every game, he has a really good moment or like a flash of insanely good defense, and I think he's really starting to put it together.
Yeah, speaking of last night, I took notes on it because it was awesome. The Jazz's fast break defense is abysmal. I think it's one of the worst in the league, if not the
Terrible.
worst in the league. And it was a 3-on-1. Grizzlies bringing the ball down the court. Cody was in the paint, and as I'm watching it, you kind of just accept, oh, this is probably just a fast break score. There's no way. Cody reaches his long arms up and just completely dismantles that alley-oop play. Sends it to Kevin Love at half court, who hurls this crazy from half court like oop to flip, and he jams it home, and it was awesome. That's the exact type of thing that I love to see from Cody. Yeah. If he can hit his threes, that would like completely overhaul his entire like value, because his defense is there and it's only going to get better. His offense is what is really holding him back.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'd love to see Will Hardy giving him 38 minutes. I think he had the most minutes on the team, I think.
He did, yeah.
So love to see that.
Yeah. Another thing about Cody, though, like especially just like from last year, it's like a lot of his development, I feel kind of bad as trial by fire. We're kind of just throwing him in there and seeing what he can do. And I think last year that was terrible for his development. Like he had a terrible season for a reason. He really was not doing good. And we kind of just left him out there, But I think at this point, he's getting used to it. He's getting used to being kind of just thrown out there, and he's figuring it out. And I'm really happy to see it. It's something that I was not expecting to happen this year, for sure.
Yeah, same. All right. So where do we think the Jazz go post All-Star break? We have one game sample size. I would suspect probably not too many games from Key, Lowry. We know JJJ's out the rest of the season. I think we'll find any reason to sit those guys. Probably lots of minutes for Collier, Flip, all those guys, which I think we're all completely fine with. We need that draft pick.
Yeah, I think the big thing is we need to do whatever it takes to keep this draft pick. And it doesn't matter if it's top 5. Like if we stay in 6, I'm totally fine with that. Like we just need this pick so bad. And I think other teams it's only going to get worse from here for other teams. Like they're going to be doing just as bad as we are, or even worse, and so I think we either need to just keep what we're doing because it seems to work, or if something happens and we're just figuring it out, we need to shut more guys down. But I really don't want to do that. I really like how this team's playing right now. Yeah. Besides the losses,
I hate the hate the Jazz have been getting. I don't think a lot of people realize if we lose this pick, not only do we lose it, it goes to the Thunder.
The worst team to get the pick. Like we do not want.
We do not want the Thunder getting a lottery pick. No one in the NBA does, other than Thunder fans. Like it's part of that horrible. I mean, it wasn't horrible at the time. It was kind of confusing at the time, that Derek Favors salary dump trade.
Yeah.
All these people saying like, oh, the Jazz like they don't deserve their draft pick. Take it away. They'd really rather the Thunder have a lottery pick than us. Kind of crazy. I mean, as that just needs to be top 8. I mean, the difference between us getting a young player and the Thunder, a rival for us. I mean, we play them. How many times a year do we play them? They're obviously in our division.
We play them 4 times a year.
They're in our division.
We play them 4 times a year.
So it'd be awful to lose that pick to them.
And I'm not trying to call out anybody specifically, but I feel like a lot of the people that you see, like media pundits, talking heads, on like Twitter, Instagram, ESPN, that complain about tanking or like teams losing on purpose, whatever, they're conflating like players throwing games to like fixing games, which I think is insane. That is not even close to the same thing. I've seen people call it cheating, which is crazy because what we're doing is not guaranteeing us a top pick. You saw that last year. We were the worst team in the league, and we didn't get the first pick. It's not. We still have to lose. It's not fun. We're doing what we have to do to like try and get a chance to get a high pick.
And we're also not breaking any rules either. Like we're not breaking the player participation rule at all with this.
This is a system that we're stuck. We're taking advantage, or not even taking advantage.
We're not even. We're stuck.
We're doing the best that we can within a system that is has completely allowed this for years. Hakeem Olajuwon was a product of a tank. You know, Joel Embiid was. Ben Simmons was. Tim Duncan was. Cade Cunningham was. You know, like Victor Wembanyama. These guys go to teams that are bad so that they can play for that team until that team is good. That's just the way that drafts work. That's how they should work. Yeah. Bad teams get a good player and can change the way that their system works.
And also, I'll kind of add on to that. I don't think, like you were saying, we're stuck in this right now. Like, if we had, like, the control of this pick, no matter what, if it was, like, an unprotected, or we just never traded the pick, and Key was going off like he has been, I really don't think we would be tanking. Like, we would probably be a play-in team at this point. And I think that... And also, at that point, I don't even think Kessler would be out right now. Like, we would probably have our full healthy team. It really sucks to not be able to control your own destiny at this point right now because we're playing really good. We have a lot of potential, but, you know, we're just having to, you know, stick with the losing. And I mean, I really want a top pick, and I really don't want to lose that pick to the Thunder. So I'm fine with doing this for one more year. And for anyone that does think that the Jazz are just going to keep doing this is idiotic because it's really like we're having to do this. This isn't really like losing this pick is malpractice at this point. Like this is ridiculous if we do.
And if I could interject as well with your point on people that think we might still be tanking for another year. I don't know if there's a lot of people doing that, but like if you were worried about it, the signs that this is the last year of being bad is Jaren Jackson Jr. playing for the Utah Jazz.
Yep.
Trading away our 2026 pick. Like
7.
Yeah, or sorry, 2027 pick. Like, we don't want it. We want the 2026 pick. We're done with that. Like, that's proof that we're going in next year.
Yeah. The way the league rules set up is small market teams like us, like the Nets, Pacers, all these other teams kind of in the same area as us, we can't get those big free agents. Like we can't sign a LeBron James, Kevin Durant, those guys. The way it's set up is we compete, we have good years, like with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, and then it's kind of inevitable. You have to have down years in order to become good again. It's either that or we just stay mid year after year after year, play in tournament. We'll never win a championship that way. You have to have the bad years to have hopefully the championship years, it seems like, for a team like us.
And I do think we've really timed our kind of down years really well because, you know, right when D. Will got traded, like way back, you know, we had Gordon Hayward and we also had Paul Millsap. And so we were still somewhat competing and we had the pieces, but we just had to like find someone to develop well. And, you know, we missed on a couple picks, but like, I really do think we did pretty well within our abilities to, I guess, quote unquote, tank. And, you know, Hayward breaking out really sparked this, I guess, like 7-year run that we had kind of being this team that was on an upward trajectory. And then Hayward leaves. And, you know, at that point, that was crushing, you know, that was crushing to what we were doing. And, you know, we had no clue what Donovan Mitchell was going to turn out to be at that point. And just a little thing about Donovan Mitchell, like that dude brought so much hope to Utah. Like after all the Hayward stuff happened, like that dude, like we owe him so much to like what that whole culture was like for a few years, because he was just unbelievable. Like probably the best player I have ever been able to see like in person.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I'm always gonna love Donovan Mitchell. He's basically the reason that I like started to become a basketball fan. An interesting, or at least a different perspective from you guys, because you guys have been Jazz fans, like legitimate hardcore Jazz fans since you were like zygotes. Like you've always been Jazz fans. I started to get really into basket, and like I've been like a passive Jazz fan my whole life just because I live here. But I didn't really get super into basketball until like probably 2017, like right when we got Donovan Mitchell. I remember the outrage over Gordon Hayward, leaving to go to the Celtics was just like, that was, it was getting to a point where I was like, even as like a very, like, not, or uneducated is the word, basketball fan, I was like, I don't think I've ever seen anybody be this hated in a sports sphere before. Some of the worst things I've ever heard be said about a professional player were about Gordon Hayward during those couple of years. And Donovan Mitchell completely just like mended that. Like he was just incredible out the gate, and in like such a inexplicable way. Like we were not. I don't think anybody was expecting him to be that good coming at
Definitely
the
not.
pick that he was at. So
Not at all.
I think we're kind of getting a similar thing to what Keontae's doing. Like Keontae, I think he wasn't as good right out of the gate, but like he is on a pretty similar trajectory to Donovan Mitchell in terms of how he played here in Utah. So
Yeah,
I like it feels great.
and like players like Mitchell and like Keontae and Hayward and all the
Mm-hmm.
legends before that, like they are pillars of like the community here. Like they
Yeah,
are seen as not gods, but like they are idolized very heavily here, more so than other places because of how small of a market it is. And like we're such a basketball city, and I don't think people really understand how big of a basketball city we are. Like we're so passionate, and I think it really shows, like especially like during the playoffs, like it is deafening in there. Like
there was a Donovan Mitchell Lego statue in Fashion Place for like 5 years.
yeah, like
Like it was real, man.
and I think Keontae is on his way to being that. Like he's just playing so well. And I think yeah, I really think next year we'll see this full team unleashed. And we'll see Keontae just kind of. I think Keontae will be running this team next year.
And Spencer
Um,
hates Keontae so much he left.
I think he will be running this team next year. This will be his team. And it's crazy to say that considering we have technically like two other all-stars on top of that.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
that's the other thing. I think the expectation going into next year is playoff or bust. And I think that's what most people are thinking at this point. Like we're gonna make a big push, and I really think if we had the control over this pick, we would be either in the play-in or close to making the playoffs.
I agree. We definitely wouldn't be tanking like we are, for
Yeah.
sure. Just kind of like to get us back on track a little bit, just focusing on the rest of this year. What do you guys want to see?
Losing. We need to lose
Yeah.
every game.
More of the same. More of the same.
I don't care if Ryan Smith gets fined $2 million by the end of the season, man. We need to lose every game. There's I've had some questioning myself, but like the top pick being Darren or AJ, with Darren, I'm trying not to read too much into it because, we kind of saw it with Ace Bailey with like, oh, he doesn't want to play here, quote unquote. I'm a little bit less all the way in on Darren Peterson as of late because of, his lack of availability, whether it's injuries or just a personal decision. So I'm definitely very interested in any of the top three that we get pick. sorry. I'm very interested to see who we pick within the first three, regardless of who it is, because I think it's a win in any direction.
For
Definitely.
sure.
I definitely want to like talk about Darren a little bit because like a lot of the stuff that's happening is kind of concerning because he's
It's
pulling
worrying,
himself
yeah.
out of it's because he's pulling himself out of games. And that, I mean, again, I am not involved in Kansas basketball at all, and I don't know what's going on.
Not
But
yet.
from the yeah, not yet, but like from the outside looking in, like that's concerning. And I really don't
Oh,
want that.
explain to me
Here.
and anyone who could be listening that's not aware, what's going on. So he's actively subbing himself out of games.
Yeah, last game, he pulled himself. He had like 23 points at the half and
It's a 3, and
hits a
then
3 and then
yeah.
taps. I think it's Bill Self, right?
Yeah.
Taps him on the chest and is like, "Get me out of here. I'm done," and doesn't play the rest of the
He
game.
doesn't play the rest of the game.
Yeah,
And
just
there isn't a reason given. We don't know why.
Not publicly, at least.
he's had a lot of like he's had some hamstring issues. But to me, this just seemed like he just didn't want to play. And again, I didn't watch the full game. And clips can be taken out of context, but that seemed a little off. And seemed like he doesn't have the mentality to be like, I need to be winning at all costs. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I want to make sure that we all stay objective with it because you see it even still, which is very surprising to me, but all of the chatter around Ace, like denying workouts with certain teams and like, oh, he doesn't want to play for Utah, like he's going to leave the second he can, and people are still questioning his work ethic and his commitment to basketball because of the drama, both conflated and legitimate, before he got drafted. I want to make sure that we're not doing that and like changing the perception of this young man to like a wider audience, because if you're not as like locked in with everything that's going on, you might just assume he doesn't love basketball. And I wouldn't go that far. He's obviously incredibly talented at basketball, and you don't get there by not loving the game. But it is worrying. It can be worrying for a team drafting him.
Yeah, I think to kind of like talk about Ace a little bit, like he like I mean everyone's, or like a lot of people have said this, a lot of the stuff that was like said about him prior to the draft is like basically false. Like this dude loves basketball. He seems to love it here, like Donovan said he liked it here, and I'm almost certain he didn't, but like this dude loves being here. He's locked in. He's bought in. And he just seems like he is just loving being out there. And I think people that don't watch the Jazz play, you could totally be like, oh yeah, this guy, why would someone want to be in Utah? But I think for him, this is exactly what he needs because of the situation we're in, and also for the development side. He can just lock in, and he doesn't have to worry about like a spotlight at this point right now. Yeah, I think we're going to prove a lot of people wrong, or he's going to prove a lot of people wrong about how he's perceived here. Yeah,
He even loves the smog.
Yeah, he loves the smog. He loves the pollution.
He said it himself.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that's been going around is completely false from what I've been watching, for sure.
And while we're on the topic of Ace, really quickly, I've heard it. I heard it talked about on Locked On Jazz. I've seen it talked about on like, either social medias or on like YouTube videos about Ace, that he's following a pretty similar pathway as Jason Tatum, which is it's encouraging and interesting. They had very similar total minutes played within the respective months of the rookie years. Scoring, rebounding, assists. I think Jason Tatum assists a little bit better, but I think Ace might rebound a little better. But I expect to see an uptick in Ace's, if it follows the same trend as Jason Tatum, assuming he doesn't get injured. Hopefully, no injuries happen, him getting sick or anything. We'll see an uptick in all of his stats come March and April, because that's kind of what was going on with Jason Tatum, and I would love to see that. And it kind of looks like he's starting to ramp up there. Was scoring 20 last night. And
yeah, I would expect him to get a 30 piece at least once this season.
Yeah, I hope so. So just looking forward for the Jazz just a little bit, we play the Rockets on Monday, which you would think would be a loss. Our 2 games after that are both against the Pelicans, which are very, very important tank games. The Pelicans have no incentive to lose. They don't even have their own draft pick.
Let's just call it the Stars.
And I mean, if Pelicans could pick up both of those games, they might even pass us in the standings. It would be pretty close. So those are very big games. It would be so great for the Pelicans to jump us, because obviously trying to get as low in the standings as we can.
The Pelicans have no incentive to lose. They don't have a pick coming up, so I could totally see them fixing it up by the end of the season, winning more games than us. I could totally see that.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is that they're trying. They're trying to win.
That's a tough spot to be in, man. Yeah, there's no reason to lose. Yeah, but you're not quite good enough to win either.
It's painful to watch, because again, they're trying to win. And like they had some moments at the beginning of the year, like, oh, maybe they're starting to turn it around, like with Derek Queen and stuff, and then it's just not panning out.
Queen's been incredible, honestly. He looks great.
He's been great, and I think
it's really unfortunate.
It's just hard,
because Derek Queen, he's a great player, but when you're trading a potential top 3, top 4 or 5 pick this year in a great draft class for him, it just
it does not reflect well.
Pelicans fans cannot be happy with the trade, even though Derek Queen, he's been good. Like,
one of the best rookies of the year.
Got to be a weird situation down there.
At this point, would you rather have like a Cam Boozer or an AJ DeBonza than Derek Queen? I would say absolutely.
I think Pelicans fans would say yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Which sucks, because again, Derek Queen has been playing great, and I think he has a very long career ahead of him, but I don't know, what were they thinking?
They were thinking they'd be good this year, I guess.
Yeah. That's why, and the OKC is the perfect example of this. Always research your picks before you trade them. Just because it's 10 years in the future does not mean that it's not important.
Yeah.
No, they traded this last season.
Right. Yeah. And you're right there. But we'll see things like, the salary dump for Favors, that pick that we weren't sure if it would mean something. And it certainly means something now.
And that's why the Jazz put that protection on it. It was just in case, which obviously glad they did. Could you imagine if we didn't have our own draft pick this year, if it was unprotected? We'd be in a rough spot.
Shiver to think
of. So that top 8 protection is going to save us, hopefully.
Yeah, I saw something on Instagram. It was this trade is one of the most pivotal in NBA history, and it's one of the most
trade?
Yes.
And I hate that. I really hate that.
Because it's totally changed everyone's perception of tanking.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some interesting things that can come from those changes, and I think there's some changes that need to be made. But who would have thought all this would have come from a Derek Favors trade? As much as I love Derek Favors,
right. Jazz fans love Derek Favors, but
I seriously, what the heck?
I'd give up Derek Favors for AJ.
Yeah, I feel like we're in an alternate universe at this point, because it's it feels so weird to be a Jazz fan right now.
Yeah.
Because so much, it's we got Triple J, and we were oh, we're set, we're good. And then now we're in the spotlight, and then we start sitting the guys, which is something that we've done before. This isn't something
the Raptors did this last season.
Yes.
The exact same thing.
The Thunder did this with Al Horford. And they sat him most of the season. This isn't new.
It's not new at all, which is why it's so frustrating as a Jazz fan that,
yes.
to the casual NBA
And
fan, this is new, and the Jazz started it when that is not the
yes,
case.
and this is absolutely not the case. And I think, yeah, it's so strange because I'm so excited for the future. Like, I cannot wait. But like, being a Jazz fan right now with everyone, like, it. I don't like taking out outsider takes seriously, but it gets to you. Like, it's hard to hear all this stuff being said and not have it be like, well, that's, yeah, like,
And
it sucks.
I think that I think a big reason why it happens to be us right now is because tanking's been around for forever, but we're starting to see a boiling point be hit as far as the league. The league's like either casual to moderate to even like diehard fans that might be a little bit older, have been watching the league for longer, remember more of David Stern.
Derek Queen talk getting to you.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Uh, they want to see Adam Silver do something because he's under a lot of fire right now, like more than I've ever seen him be under, and I think more than David Stern was ever under. And so they want to see him do something, and they also don't like tanking, and so it's like, oh, Adam Silver can fix the league by fixing tanking, and so it's just all of this hate is being directed towards us because we've been, kind of branded as the poster child for the season. And the NFL's done, so everyone's bored. Last year around this time, it was people complaining about like TV ratings for whatever reason. Like, who cares? But that's what the thing was at the time. This year it's tanking. Who knows what it'll be next year?
Yeah, the thing that makes it extra bad this year is how loaded the draft is. Do you
Mhm.
remember, like, tanking was also really bad the Wemby year? It was not bad at all. The Risa Shea year,
Mhm.
it depends on the draft class, and but I guess some changes are coming. You saw, like, I guess Adam Silver, they're going to implement something in the offseason, which luckily for us, we will not be tanking next year. So whatever they decide to change won't affect
Yeah.
us. At least not for
And
hopefully 10 plus years.
I
yeah,
think we can get.
I really do think that there are some good ideas
Mhm.
there.
Heard a lot of good
Um,
ideas and a lot of awful ideas.
I
yeah,
I think that we could
yeah,
probably save the topic of tanking and then even the more of
yeah,
the next draft's prospects till next episode. Maybe even do a
yeah,
big
for sure.
board within the next couple of episodes. I think that would be really an interesting
Yeah,
thing.
I think so.
Um, but uh, yeah, there's a lot. I'm seeing a lot of interesting suggestions for that. And I think we should definitely lock into that in like its full respective episode next week. Um, but this episode is getting a little bit long, so I think we like do you guys have anything else you wanted to add about like stuff we've already talked about today? I do want to just give a quick get a quick take from you guys on who you think the like second half of the season MVPs will be. Just quickly, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I think I don't have anything. I mean, just we need to more of the same, please.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do whatever it takes to keep this pick. That's all I got for what do we do the second half of the season. But do you have anything, Spencer?
No, not really. But second half MVP, I hope obviously I hope Ace can keep it up. I love seeing Isaiah Collier playing great. I think he'll be my
Yeah.
MVP pick. Um, what's your guys' MVP's picks?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna echo what Spencer was saying. I think Isaiah Collier will probably be the best player post All-Star break. He's just, I mean, even prior to him being like even prior to the All-Star break, he's been really showing this upward trend. Like we talked about in the last episode, he's just been playing really well. And I think that this is just gonna keep going. And I think he's either going to earn himself a starting spot or really solidify that he can be a really good like six man or, starting point guard for this team.
Um, I definitely agree. Isaiah was almost on my list, but I'm going to give a second half MVP. I think it'll be Ace Bailey. I think we're going to really see him pick it up in March and April, especially. And Cody Williams. I don't necessarily think I don't think he'll be the best player on the Jazz. What I mean by MVP is in terms of growth. So maybe more of an MIP, but I think that we're going to see him start to hit his threes. I think that he's going to continue to get more confident. I've been loving the growth that I'm seeing in his defense and his processing of the game, his positioning. I'm very excited to see, especially next year, so not second half MVP, but especially next year, I'm really excited to see what he does with his defense after having an offseason to pick JJJ's brain on, because I can see Cody being another one of those like free roaming, free safety type defenders, because he's long, he's quick, he's smart, and he's not a center. But at the small forward or power forward position, he can really use his length on slower guys and especially use his quickness against smaller guys. And so I think that he could really grow playing next to JJJ.
Yep. Good take. I agree. I guess we'll next episode. I guess Javin, you'll give us some Foy factor numbers.
Yeah, I don't have one prepared for today's episode just because it's only a 1 game sample size. So I'm going to include this game and then all of the games in between today's episode and the recording of next episode. I'm going to take all those numbers and I'm going to mix them together, and we'll see who ends up taking the Foy factor for that week.
Do we want to predict those games real quick from Monday to Saturday?
Oh yeah, let's look at that. Let's look at that schedule and see.
So it's Houston and the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
For Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. And for me, I think we'll go 1-2 in this stretch. I think we'll lose to the Rockets and we'll win one of the 2 Pelicans games.
I agree.
Sure.
I probably agree. Obviously, hopefully we go 0-3, but
yeah, hopefully
1-2 is probably most realistic. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think if we lose by 100 plus, we'll get 2 losses in the standings? That'd be pretty awesome.
That would be sweet.
Just lose so bad that the NBA gives us 2 losses. One of the players we're down 4-5 because all the other players got stuck on the bus on the way over.
All right. So unless anyone has any last minute topics to bring up, I think Javin can take us out.
I don't want to take you out. We need you for next episode. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. 100 followers on any platform, and we'll dump ice cold water on ourselves. Send this to Randy Foy. Send it to
Tag Randy Foy.
Yeah, send this to Tyler Eulis. Shout out to Tyler Eulis. I watched him hit that game winner on the Suns again today. That was pretty cool. So, Randy, Tyler, shout out to you guys.
I want to give a shout out to Deontay Garrett. If we can get Deontay Garrett to comment, or Toure Murray, send this to him.
Yeah, Toure Murray.
Oh,
Francisco Elson.
Yeah,
we need you.
MVPs. Shout out to those guys. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.